Got some fun things to go over today, some fun updates on the platform, on the chat side, and as well as our voice agents. I know this has been one of the things a lot of people have been really excited about. We're going to be having some live demos coming out shortly, as well as emails to different agencies over the next week or so. So if you get an email from us about enabling AI voice into your dashboard, that will basically give you early access to voice, and you'll be able to start to play around with it, build out some voice agents, and get started. And I'll have some more updates on that in a minute. But like I always like to start off these meetings with a little bit of housekeeping, just some general information, especially for everyone that's watched up on YouTube. If you're in the Stammer dashboard, app.stammer.ai, there are a bunch of useful support resources available to you. And these are only shown in the Stammer side. If you're logged into your white label side of things, we obviously removed those Stammer mentions. Um, so in the top right-hand corner, you have our change log. This will bring you to all of our updates and everything that we post about, or everything that we release within the last week or so. We will make an update to this, and you can also see this at roadmap.stammer.ai. Similarly, we also have the support tab, and this gives you all kind of a high-level view of all of our different support options, from our weekly office hours for that we're all on right now, to onboarding, documentation, how to submit support tickets, and all that, as well as links to our daily support calls that Tim, Drew, and I will be doing, that we have been doing for probably a few months now, honestly, every Monday through Friday, and it's directly after this call at 11:30 a.m. Whereas the weekly office hours, these are more for showcasing new features and then going over some general Q&A. Our daily support calls is where we can go into into a lot more depth about specific issues or specific questions that you might have. And those daily support calls are not recorded or posted anywhere. If we do record it, it's only for our internal team to help us debug any issues that you guys might have. So these are very good calls. A lot of people have gotten a lot of value from them. So if you're interested to do that, please join up and we'll be happy to help you out. That being said, we did do a couple of updates about a week and a half ago. This was right after the last office hours. So as we continue to improve the core functionality of the platform, we have also started to take into account a lot of what I like to call quality of life updates. So for things like organization and management of clients, especially since we have started to see a lot of agencies and other customers of ours start to scale and sell and build and sell hundreds, if not into the thousands of AI agents and customers. There's a lot of these things that people have been asking for. And of course, if you have a new idea and you'd like to see that get added, you can go to the roadmap here and you can submit your own ideas. And this is where we'll pull, it's where we can organize and track all of your guys' requests for new features and things, some of which are very simple and some of which are not so simple. But we always try to get to everything over time. That being said, I'm not going to go over every line item here, but just some ones to mention here. The template prompts for AI agents have been released, and this is probably one of the better updates that a lot of people have been asking for. And it all kind of ties together between this concept of template prompts and the marketplace and creating AI agents, and I'll explain all of that. So when you create an AI agent and you have a custom prompt, like let's say we're going to make one for a medical spa, for example, the prompt for this type of customer is going to be different than if you were to sell to like a dentist or a lawyer or something like that. So the idea here is like once you have success and you can and you have a working agent that uses this type of prompt, and let's say medical spas are your niche, you can then templatize this prompt and this agent. And the way that you do that is you go into the main agent tab here, and you're going to launch this agent into your marketplace. And now each agency has their own marketplace, and everything that's in your marketplace is something that all of your client sub accounts are able to see and interact with. So once you create an agent, you can add it to your marketplace. And once it's in the marketplace, other sub accounts have the ability to download these or add these to their account. And these can be either free or paid, depending on who, how you want to position these. And they can also be available to everyone, or you can just simply send it to a specific client or a specific sub account. Now, if it is a public agent in here, one of the benefits is when your sub accounts and when your clients start signing up for the platform, and let's say you have a new medical spa, and they start going through the process, they'll be able to find those public prompts inside this little drop down here. And when you click it, these will automatically change the entire prompt itself. So this really will help people get started from going from that zero to that first step or that first piece of value, instead of having to worry about how to customize these prompts, where it might seem a little confusing, especially if you're not familiar to edit any of these before. So that's kind of the relationship between the template prompts, marketplace, and the AI agents within that marketplace. There's, like I mentioned, you can also charge for those agents in the marketplace as well, but that's just another option for making more money. And then the other thing that I will mention is we added the ability to organize everything into folders for your AI agents. We're also going to be doing this shortly for sub accounts, so you can organize all of your customers a little bit easier. I know this might seem like a trivial update, but again, quality of life updates that a lot of people have been asking for. So we're really trying to focus on, not only making sure that we're expanding the functionality of the platform, but also the ease of use of the platform. And then the last update that I'll mention before we go into some general question and answers today is the updated API, the updated white label API. We've started to get a lot of customers that are using Stammer as their platform provider for AI agents. So, for example, let's say you're a company and you use something like Mailgun or SendGrid or Amazon SES for email. Those are platform providers for email, essentially. A lot of companies now are coming to Stammer as the platform provider for AI agents to deploy AI agents at scale. And so we've really focused on expanding our API to allow people to solve for that specific use case. And that now includes things like being able to use the API to update and create the chat widget appearance. So if you're a company that has a lot of clients with a lot of different websites, you can now use our API to take information from the client, wherever that may be, and then send that to our system. And then our system will be able to return the correctly customized chat widget with the custom agent that is attached to it. So there's a lot of information in the white label API. It's a little bit more of an advanced feature for those of us that are using it, but it is extremely powerful. That being said, Tim, Drew, is there anything else that I'd like to mention today in general?
Not on that front. No, I think that's it.
Maybe the custom functions templates. We're also expanding our custom functions as well. By where we've added in the ability to do function templates. So very similar to the prompt templates. Instead of having to figure out how to build out a custom function yourself, we have some templates that we're going to be adding into here, and these are all going to be available for free for everybody who's on the agency or the full SaaS mode plan. So things like being able to connect it to a Shopify store or search the web through the Google API, things like that.
The only thing I mention is the in the marketplace, we've added about 20 or so industry specific templates, everything from the typical AI support agents to real estate qualifying agents to law firm intake agents. There's a bunch of different use cases and industries in there. If there are any more that anyone wants, please reach out to us and let us know so that way we can build it and put it into the marketplace for you.
Yep. Good mention. And to clarify, when you as an agency, I'm speaking kind of to all customers here on the call and watching on YouTube, if you're an agency going to Stammer's marketplace, this is only things that you are able to see. Our marketplace is different than what your marketplace is. And I know that might be a little confusing, but like this is stuff that only you are able to see. You can then clone these and put them in your own marketplace if you'd like. And that's kind of how we structure the the white label system here. So anything that you see that is related to Stammer is only going to be seen by you as the agency, never your clients. That's because we I mean we built the entire platform from the ground up with the intention of everyone white labeling it. So we've always been very careful and very clear on all that. So yeah, I'll now open it up to any questions or comments, concerns. You can start speaking, or if you just raise your hand in the Zoom chat, or you can put it in the meeting chat here, whatever works.
Yeah, this is Richard Earls. I do have a question. It's a pretty minor point, but it strikes me as a little unusual. We're making heavy use of the AI voice piece of it. And it seems a little backwards to me that to cut the microphone on, you click and it puts a line through it. That looks to me like you're cutting it off. And I'm concerned that it's going to confuse clients.
So clicking the microphone on the actual widget.
Yes. If you're looking at your AI agent,
Mhm.
indicate your voices. All right, now right now the microphone is off.
Yeah.
Well, that looks like it's on. And if you click it, you put a line through it, which strikes me as saying turn it off. Typically, a line through an icon means it's not available at that point. Look at the audio on Zoom here.
Okay. So I'm just still I'm a little confused on so like
Okay, look
the
look at look at Zoom at where you can see your audio.
yeah.
All right, you see how it's there's no line through it. If you click it now, you're going to put a line through it, which means audio's off.
Oh, I see that. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And it's backwards on our system, on your system, and therefore I think it's going to confuse clients.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, we can quickly fix that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Cool. Let me make a note of that. Or Tim, can you make a note of that, please?
Yep,
Cool.
got it.
Cool. How do you have one bot open another? Tim, do you want to take that one?
Yes. So currently, we're exploring in the future making that a built-in functionality for a bot to call another bot. But it is possible today by leveraging a custom function. So you would have a piece of middleware running in something like repolit.com that you guys have seen my tutorials that I've released on that. But essentially, what it would do is it would be a function that you name, maybe call other agent or something, and then it just simply uses our API to communicate back and forth. And so it's relaying to the agent. I'm trying to get a tutorial together on doing that. Just haven't had a chance yet to do that, but I can prioritize that higher if there's enough interest.
And out of curiosity, Richard, what would be like an example use case if you'd be willing to share for that?
Yeah, we're doing a bot for the Tourism Authority of Quebec, and the bot essentially is going to be a teacher for an online course for travel agents. So we want the students to be able to ask the bot questions about the course. And we'd like to do that verbally as opposed to typing.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry. Well, thank you for that information. I was Richard Hill. Sorry, other Richard in the chat.
Oh, apologies.
No worries. Yeah, Richard Hill, the one bot open to the other. If you have an example use case for that, that'd be helpful.
Shit.
Let's see. While he's typing that out,
Sorry,
No problem.
It would be like one agent was handling general information, but there was something entirely different that could come up, and you
Yes.
want to handle it in the main.
Yeah, and I can certainly see some good use cases for separating out the agents, basically having one focus on one thing and one on another. So what I will do is like I said, I'll prioritize that higher and definitely get the tutorial out by the end of this week. Things are a little crazy for me right now because we have some people flying in town, but I will definitely get that done this week. And just like the last one I did, it'll be sample code that you can easily deploy. You just got to plug in your values and you should be good to go, but I will work on that.
May I ask one other question? This is Richard again.
yeah, please.
One thing that I'd love to see happen here is for the bots to become contextual. So in other words, it would have access to what the client is looking at on the screen or on the page.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. That does make absolute sense. I think we're a little far away from that capability technically right now. We'd have to have something running. It'd be a little complex, but yeah, it does make sense.
Thanks.
Let us think about that and see if maybe a Chrome extension or something could give us those capabilities.
Yeah, we did look into it, I think like a month or two ago. But it's nice when, because like what typically happens is like we'll get a customer and then they ask for functionality like that, and then we'll look into it, and then we try to continue the conversation with that client, but then maybe they're not as interested anymore, or maybe that was a conversation that they were having with a client that week, but then
Yeah, and actually, Ross, one thing I want to clarify, because I'm just thinking, are you talking, the person who was just speaking about this, Richard, I believe, are you speaking about the agent having the ability to literally see what's on their screen, or getting the ability to have the context of the page it's installed on?
Context of the page it's installed on.
Okay, yeah, that's different. So that is very possible. We created a prototype of that functionality and verified that it can work. It basically, the JavaScript that we have running on the page ingests all the data on the page that it's on, passes that to the agent. So yes, that is very possible. It makes complete sense. Ross, we would just need to prioritize that higher, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, think about it in the context of the course I was speaking about, and you'll
Yep.
see how
Yep.
valuable that could be.
Yeah, absolutely. The person that reached out to us about this that made me want to explore this and did the prototype, it was like an e-commerce page and it needed information about the product that it's installed upon. And we did find it was possible to do. So yeah, we'll talk about that as a team, and you guys reach out to us, maybe just shoot us an email or ping us in Discord if you also think that that is very valuable to have. Anyone listening or watching the recording.
definitely. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Richard. Let's see. Adam, I see your mic is on. Do you have any questions or just hanging out? Do we have the option to implement reinforcement learning from human feedback? Yes. So we built it in a way where it's done a little bit more manually. I can show you how that works. So for example, if I just go into a question here, QA. So inside the knowledge base, we have what is called QA, question and answers. And you can add these manually, or you can import a CSV. But we also have this where if you ask a question, you can train it to respond at like a specific response. So when you're testing it out in this interface, there's this option called train better response, and it will show you the option to add a question and an answer, Q&A. And you can basically save this and we can change something, like, hey there, and then train response. And then this will be automatically added to the knowledge base. So that way, when someone says a question like this, it will send an answer like that in the future. So now we can see that there's a new Q&A here that has been trained by the agent. So it's kind of similar to ChatGPT, but it also works within the context of the knowledge-based system that our platform uses to train the agents individually.
Yeah, and as far as the part similar to ChatGPT, I believe the way that is actually done, the only option for doing that with ChatGPT is to do what's called fine tuning. We explored it somewhat initially 2 years ago, weren't super impressed with it, but if enough people are interested, we could explore maybe adding that capability through their API for you guys to, I don't know,
Yeah.
identify certain questions that are answered correctly. Maybe the customer does it by clicking up or something, but it is possible. It would just have to be a lot of data to really have an impact, is what I would think, but we
Yeah.
can explore it further.
A lot of data and it's pretty expensive as well.
Expensive,
Yeah.
or at
So
least it
that,
was 2 years ago.
yeah, well, talking with some other providers and clients, like the the examples and the way that we have built our system using what's called semantic search and what's called a vector database, and these all might sound like technical terms, but essentially what it is we are loading all this data into a knowledge base, and then that information can be then queried by the agent dynamically. And this heavily reduces the overall costs of everything rather than trying to spend a lot of time and a lot of money to train your own model. We're essentially training it on the query rather than the whole set of data. Does the end user have the option to give a thumbs up or thumbs down so the agent improves by itself? Um, Not currently. That is something that we have also looked into over the last couple weeks. Um, we can look into that a little bit further as well. It's good to hear when more people are asking about similar items, because then that will help us prioritize these items to be higher in our product roadmap versus just like a single person. So that being said, if you don't see any of those things on the roadmap as well, you can go and add that to the roadmap for free. Or if you already see it, you can upvote it, and then that will allow us to know kind of what items are most requested by most people. But we will for sure get the microphone thing fixed, and we will look into the multiple agent calling as well as that thumbs up, thumbs down as well. Cool. Well, that brings us to the end of today's and this week's office hours. If you guys have any other further questions, you can hop into our daily support call, which Tim and I will be in about 2 minutes, and you can get that link from the support tab right here, and we can go over any other questions that you might have. But no, last question. Also, while adding files to the knowledge base, can we rearrange the files similar to File Explorer? Nope. It's just you upload the files, and then that information can be dynamically utilized by the agent um, as needed, basically.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have much of an impact anyway, due to the nature of semantic search. There is no kind of ordering or anything like that currently with the semantic search. It just gets a query, translates it into vectors, and then queries the vector database to come up with things that match that. In the future, we may add some more kind of complex ways to do that. There are some interesting things that can be done, but for most use cases, simple vector search seems to work best.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining this week's office hours. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Take care.